Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. One of the biggest college football weekends in recent memory absolutely lived up to the hype. Week 4 of college football featured 6 ranked versus ranked matchups, a historical day in college football. And the games were absolutely phenomenal. Only 6 ranked teams lost, those 6 coming in each of those games. And those games gave us a lot of answers to some major questions we had. And we're going to drastically shake up not just the rankings, but the individual conference races and the college football playoff race too. And today, guys, we're here to break down everything you need to know from those matchups, our Week 4 recap, and setting the stage for Week 5. So once again, guys, welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including the expert picks right there. How about that? Come on now. 100%, baby. 10-0, undefeated on our expert picks over on the gridironexpert.com. We told you we will guarantee you a winning record. We'll guarantee you a winning season. We'll guarantee you money right back in your pocket. We've beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 5 years. We're doing it this year. We definitely did it this last weekend. If you signed up, you won big with us this Saturday. If you didn't, go sign up today. Already hitting over 60% of our bets this year, hitting 75% in our best bet section, hitting over 80% of our best bets on the NFL spread picks. This is the place for you if you want guaranteed winnings. Go sign up for the expert picks down in the description below over on the gridironexpert.com. A historical day, not just for college football, but a historical day for us here at the Gridiron Expert. Week 4, 10-0, and then 34-6 on the money line, bringing our total to 178-36, meaning we'll hit over 200 victories through 5 weeks by the end of next weekend. So again, money line picks are hitting. Against the spread picks are hitting. You will win big if you go sign up. Go take advantage of it. It's a full year-long subscription. Don't miss out on this next week's picks. Whew, got me fired up, baby. College football's got me fired up too. Week 4's got me fired up. It was a phenomenal weekend. Let's start with maybe one of the biggest games of the day, and it wasn't a ranked versus ranked matchup. We're going to break down all 6 of those, but let's break down the one that should have been had Clemson not blundered against Duke back in Week 1. Number 4, Florida State surviving Clemson 31-24 in overtime. What a game. What a game and what a day. What's crazy about this game is Florida State wins this game by 7 points in overtime. They did not lead in this game until the second play of overtime. Florida State never led in regulation. They were tied at times, but never led Clemson in regulation. Scored on the second play of overtime. They got the ball first and then stopped Clemson on 4th down and survived with the victory in Death Valley. And really what this is going to come down to, guys, is missed opportunities for Clemson. Credit to Mike Norvell. Credit to Jordan Travis and what Florida State was able to do, especially Florida State's defense. We'll talk on that in a second. But you look at the missed opportunities for Clemson. This was a team that was leading 10-0 at one point, led 17-14 at halftime. And what the turning point in the game was Kalen DeLoach's 56-yard scoop and score, where Cade Klubnik just got drilled, just hammered, blindside, fumbled the ball. DeLoach scoops it up, takes it off, ties the game for Florida State. That was massive. That was an opportunity where Clemson felt like if they scored a touchdown, maybe could put the game away. Even a field goal would get them back up by double digits, and the entire momentum of the game changed. Then, you look at it a little bit later. They were on the Florida State 29-yard line, up 24-17. That was when the sack happened. The sack and the fumble happened. Then later in the game, they missed a 29-yard field goal with 1:45 left that would have put them up 3 and maybe won the game for them, a potential game-winning field goal. Kind of felt like a full circle moment, and not in a good way if you're a Clemson fan. You go back and look at some of the beneficial missed kicks that Clemson's been on the good side of, namely against North Carolina State multiple times. Now this time, right down the pipe, chip shot field goal, and they shank it. Florida State wasn't able to go down there and tie it, though, or go win the game. And then Clemson gets the ball back and makes the odd decision to run the ball with Will Shipley, gets the Florida State 48-yard line with 6 seconds left, and they don't even attempt to go spike the ball. They look confused. Spike the ball, try for a Hail Mary, spike the ball, get a quick out route, maybe try another long field goal. They didn't do that. So Clemson had a lot of missed opportunities in this game against Florida State. They went to overtime. The Seminoles took advantage of it and got the win. No overtime as well, 3rd and 1. Calling a screen pass on 3rd and 1 was mind-boggling to me. Clemson outgained Florida State by 118 yards. They held them to 22 rushing yards on the day. If you looked at that box score, you would think Clemson won every single time. Yet the Tigers found themselves on the losing side. They are 0-2 in conference play for the first time since 2010. And looking at Florida State's schedule, there's a very good chance the Seminoles could finish the year at 12-0. The Seminoles look like a college football playoff team after winning an absolute wild game in Death Valley. Missed opportunities for Clemson. Going on to the ranked versus ranked matchup. Number 10, Oregon, shutting up number 19, Colorado, 42-6. Colorado, guys, simply was exposed for what they are on Saturday. You know, I like Deion Sanders. I genuinely do. I think what he's done with Colorado has been remarkable. 3-0 start was remarkable. But I think we all knew they were going to get just steamrolled against Oregon on Saturday. And don't say it was because Travis Hunter was gone. He wouldn't have made a difference. Plain and simple, Oregon won that game. They were the better team, and they were from the beginning. And I like what Dan Lanning said. He kind of came out there and got his team fired up. He goes, we are fighting for wins. They are fighting for clicks. The Cinderella story is going to be over. The games are not played in Hollywood. They are played out on the field. You know, I love the marketing thing. I love what Deion Sanders and them are doing, but they're right. We're focusing too much on all the outside stuff and not what's happening on the field. What was happening on the field was the fact that Colorado's offensive line is atrocious and Colorado's defense was atrocious. And when they finally faced a semi-decent team like Oregon, and therefore an elite team, not a TCU that was losing a bunch of starters from that national championship squad, the national runner-up, not a Nebraska squad that's horrible, not a Colorado State squad that's horrible, barely surviving that game. When you face an elite team like Oregon, they got exposed. Oregon led 35-0 at halftime over the Buffaloes, outgained Colorado 522 yards to 199, held his electric offense to under 200 yards, had 30 first downs to Colorado's 13 first downs, had 7 sacks on the day against Shadur Sanders. Bo Nix, 28 for 33, 276 yards, 3 touchdowns. This was a statement victory. Everybody knew and felt confident that Oregon was going to win this game and win it pretty convincingly. But this was a statement to say, look, what Colorado's done has been great. What they've done is good. They are way better than they were last year, and they're going to win a handful more games down the road. They might still be a bowl team, but they are nowhere near a college football playoff contender or a Pac-12 title contender like people maybe thought they were. Oregon exposed the Buffaloes. They clearly have a lot of work to do, but Oregon looking dang good, and they are a legitimate college football playoff contender. Moving on, number 13, Alabama overcoming number 15, Ole Miss in Tuscaloosa, 24-10. This was an interesting game, guys. A game where Alabama really started slow, and we all thought, holy cow, Alabama might lose again at home, and everything's done for them. 2 losses in the month of September. Playoff hopes are done. SEC title hopes probably done. You know, it was concerning. Ole Miss took a 7-3 lead, and everybody was like, well, watch out. What could happen here? And after that, Alabama woke up. 7-3, they were trailing, and then they outscored Ole Miss 21-3 the rest of the way. Alabama actually trailed 7-6 at halftime and then kind of woke up. You know, and it's one of those things, too, where you felt like Alabama was going to lose at one point because they were making, like Clemson, so many stupid mistakes, stupid penalties, the interception in the end zone, the block punt that went out at the 1-yard line. You thought Alabama's going to score like that. And instead, the high snap and then the sack pushed them all the way back. Lost 22 yards in the drive and had to settle for a field goal. All that happening in the first half. Second half, significantly better. The run game really picked up. Jalen Milroe looked a little bit better. The defense, phenomenal, shutting down Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, and that offense in the second half. Very, very impressive day for Alabama, holding Ole Miss to 56 rushing yards on the entire day. This was a must-win for the Crimson Tide, and really a confidence win for them. Everybody was dogging them after the loss to Texas, dogging them after the poor performance against USF. They needed this win, and to get a double-digit win over a top 15 opponent, that might have been just what the doctor ordered for Alabama as they now enter a brutal stretch of conference play coming up. So big win for Alabama at home over a solid Ole Miss team, a very good Ole Miss team, we should add. Sticking to the Pac-12, we'll go over the Pac-12. How about Utah? Utah has been one of the weirdest teams this year for me, and I'm really impressed with what they're doing because they're winning games without their star quarterback in Cam Rising. And they're not just beating cupcake teams. They beat Florida. They beat Baylor on the road. And then they just beat UCLA, the number 22 ranked team in the country, in Salt Lake City, where Utah is dang near invincible. They won that game 14-7. The difference maker, a pick 6 on the first play of the game. Very first play of the game, Utah intercepts Dante Moore of UCLA, turns it all the way, and that's a difference maker. Because the rest of the way, Utah's defense played so well against what was such an electric Chip Kelly offense. It was really mind-blowing. Kind of a boring game if you watched it. But credit to the Utes defense. That's what wins championships. That's what's helped them win 2 straight Pac-12 titles, now going for a third. The defense held UCLA to 243 yards, held to the 9 rushing yards on the entire day. They forced 2 turnovers, one of them that pick 6 to start the game. They had 7 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss. Unbelievable. And again, that was the difference maker, the defense, because if you look at Utah's offense, they were atrocious. Only had 219 yards on the day. Every single one of their second half drives resulted in a punt. They did not score a single point in the second half. Single point. They were not moving the ball. They were conservative. They tried to chew up clock. And Kyle Whittingham was like, look, I don't really care. I have faith in my defense. And they didn't allow UCLA to score until much, much later in that game to make it look better than it really was. 14-7. UCLA had one shot left, and Utah's defense came alive. Sack. Two or three of those 7 sacks came on the last drive for the Bruins with about 2 minutes left in the game. So Utah looking really, really good, guys. Cam Rising should be coming back soon, maybe as soon as this Friday against Oregon State, a massive game for them. But this is going to be a good Utah team and a very, very dangerous Pac-12. And speaking of the Pac-12, how about Washington State? Number 21, the Cougars, taking down number 14, Oregon State, who plays Utah this Friday, beating them 38-35 in a game that was not nearly as close as the final score indicated. The Cougars had 528 yards of offense, led Oregon State 35-14 entering the fourth quarter. They allowed the Beavers to play around, nearly fumbled that onside, allowed the Beavers to have a shot to go win the game. Recovered it, survived, won by 3, covered as well. We won the cover with Washington State, picked them to win outright as well. Won the cover with Notre Dame. We'll get to that in a second. Won some big-time matchups on our spread picks and on our money line picks as well. But you look at Washington State again. Cam Ward has been phenomenal. We need to be talking about this guy more. 404 yards, 4 touchdowns on the day. The Cougars scored on the second play of the game, and we talked about that in our prediction video. We said Washington State needs to come out there and set the tone early. We know they're explosive offensively, more so than Oregon State. Come out there, start strong, be explosive, just like they were a couple weeks ago against Wisconsin and Pullman. That's exactly what Jake Dickert's squad did. They set the tone early, 63-yard bomb, 63-yard play from Cam Ward, and the rest was history. Washington State, guys, is the real deal. We're talking about USC and Oregon and Washington and Utah. Washington State has officially joined the mix as a legitimate Pac-12 title contender. Unbelievable win for Jake Dickert and his squad. They are looking dang good. 2 games left in the ranked versus ranked matchups. We'll get to the one everybody's probably talking about. Notre Dame and Ohio State. By far what we expected to be the game of the week, and in a way, maybe it was. A top 10 matchup, Ohio State coming in at 6, Notre Dame coming in at 9, and it was a heartbreaking, H-A-R-T, yes, I know, boo me if you will, but a heartbreaking loss for Notre Dame. Sam Hartman had a mediocre game against a stingy Ohio State defense, very stingy one, and credit to Notre Dame, right? They were down 10-0 in this game. It looked like Ohio State might run away with it or maybe just pull away after a very lackluster first half from both teams. But Notre Dame battled back, took a 14-10 lead with 8:22 left. And with a minute and a half left, Ohio State had one last shot to go win the game. And we all thought Notre Dame's defense is going to come up clutch. They're going to come up clutch. And it looked like they would, because Ohio State just kept converting when no one thought they would. They faced a 3rd and 10 from their own 35, converted that. Later in the drive, 4th and 7 from the Notre Dame 39. They converted that. 3rd and 19 from the Notre Dame 22. That pass completed, converted all the way down to the 1-yard line. That was the play of the game right there. 3rd and 19 following an intentional grounding call, and Kyle McCord connects at the 1-yard line to set Ohio State up with just a few seconds left to try to win the game. 2 incomplete passes, fell short. Final play of the game, punches it in with a run. The last 2 plays of the game, Notre Dame only had 10 players on the field. You can't help but wonder, would that extra player have made a difference? How the heck does that happen in one of the biggest games of the year, one of the biggest moments of the year, for 2 straight plays? 1 play maybe, 2 straight plays? You don't have all 11 guys out in the field? Don't know how that happened. That's a major, major blunder on Marcus Freeman and the Fighting Irish's staff. But regardless, Ohio State punching it in with 1 second left. Obviously nothing happening there on that final play, I guess, for Ohio State. For Notre Dame, and Ohio State gets a massive resume-boosting win. Their schedule tough down the road. Still got to play Penn State. Still got to play Michigan. Still got to play an intriguing Wisconsin team in Madison. They needed this win, and they got it. That's going to be huge when the playoff committee is looking at them later on this year. Heartbreaking loss for Notre Dame in a game that felt like they should have won. They should have won, but the defense was unable to come up with that last big stop in the final minute and a half, minute 26, 86 seconds. The Fighting Irish won't fall as far in the rankings. They're still in the mix for the playoffs if they can win out. But this was a big blow. No doubt about it. Final game, Penn State shutting out number 24 Iowa 31-0. What else did you expect? Anybody that thought Iowa was going to go out there and win this game was a fool. It was a whiteout game in Happy Valley. Iowa never stood a chance against the Nittany Lions. That was also one of our spread picks this week. Penn State got them in at minus 13.5, covered easily 31-0. Listen to these numbers, guys. 397 yards for Penn State, 76 for Iowa. They held the Hawkeyes to 76 yards of offense for the entire game. And I know Iowa's offense is atrocious, and it has been for a while, but I don't care who you're playing. 76 yards over the course of an entire game? Unreal. Penn State's defense forced 4 turnovers. They allowed 4 first downs. Iowa had the same amount of turnovers as they did first downs in the entire game. That is unbelievable. That is a testament to how good James Franklin's defense is. That's a testament to what the whiteout game can do for a Penn State program. 31-0 over the Hawkeyes. This is a statement win. I know Iowa's not all that great. They never stood a chance. I will back that. But to beat a ranked team at home in conference play, shut them out, and do what you did defensively while also racking up nearly 400 yards of offense, including 215 on the ground, that's a statement win. Penn State should be feared because they are a legitimate, not just Big Ten title contender, but college football playoff contender as well. This team is legit, and it showed on Saturday night in Happy Valley. So there you have it, guys. I know it was a long recap. Rightfully so. One of the biggest weekends of the year, and I thought it lived up to the hype. Yes, the Penn State game wasn't good. We know that. Yes, the Alabama game was mediocre. The Oregon game was not good. Florida State Clemson was phenomenal. Utah UCLA was phenomenal. Notre Dame Ohio State was phenomenal. We had some big-time matchups, guys. 6 ranked teams going down. Massive shakeup in the rankings coming out from the AP poll later today. Certainly from us tomorrow with our GE Top 25 poll. A lot of big stuff coming your way this week as we get ready for Week 5, including more predictions, more spread picks. Go check them out again down in the description below. 10-0. If you haven't signed up, we don't know what you're doing. If you're going to complain about losing bets, we don't know what you're doing because you're going to get winners right here. So go sign up for those today. But guys, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Week 4 in the books. Week 5 underway officially right here at the channel tomorrow. Don't miss out on the content. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. Check out everything down in the description below. Don't miss out on the picks. They're coming out this week. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.